Cool. Well, welcome. Okay, so this is gonna be a little different than my last, Retard review that I had. Only fucking because, unlike The Flash, which I know, like, fucking everything about, this one's a little different. Because I know a lot about Star Wars. I know a fuck ton about Star Wars. A ridiculous amount. But I don't know everything. And I know there are some people who have entire channels just dedicated to Star Wars. I'm also eating pretzels, if you will hear crunching. So, right. So you're probably thinking, you know, I've talked shit about this fucking game constantly, only because it doesn't have character customization, which is fucking tragic. But I figured, I said I was gonna do an Ashoka review back like 4 months ago when I did my Flash review, and yeah, so technically it was like 4 months ago, I think, but if you look at the thing, it says last year, so, you know, which is crazy. So much crazy things have happened, really. I moved houses, you know, just a lot of shit's different in my life. I'm not like door dashing anymore. But I did want to talk about Star Wars because there seemed to be there are, since my last reviews, like I did an Andor review about Andor, and then I did Star Wars itself back when the Obi-Wan show was coming out, and then Mandalorian season 3 came out, and then Ahsoka came out, and then yeah, so technically I've already reviewed like some of the shows and stuff, but I just had a few things that I wanted to say about Star Wars. So what you should know is that you know, like I said, I'm not like a Star Wars like fucking librarian. There's some people I know and they're like fucking like, you know, really fucking knowledgeable about some stuff. And I know a lot of things. I know, like, for instance, back before they invented lightsabers, that they used fucking just like regular swords. So that makes me think, like, could even like movies, like any movie in the medieval times, be considered in the Star Wars universe? Just like eons before lightsabers? Could be. Who fucking knows? But I don't think so. So yeah, it's just to give you a general feel. This is my, I know there's probably some people are gonna watch this, and they're gonna be like, you know, they're gonna be like fucking pissed. But honestly, these are just my opinions about Star Wars. Who fucking gives a shit, you know? And, yeah, I'm playing this game because I don't like playing this game because I can't make my own characters, which is something I'm fucking obsessed with. But I will say it's not actually a bad game. Like, it's a good game. There's a lot of fucking characters you can play. Like, I'm just playing these guys because this is what I fucking have. Time to murder myself. Oh, that's cool. You actually seen the animation? Anyways. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, there we go. I just unlocked these guys, so of course I don't have to play. I just want to say too, this fucking outfit right here, these Sith troopers, they look fucking sick. They look fucking awesome. And we didn't get enough of them. They should have been in like the entire fucking series. By that I mean like the last 3. Which, I have so much I want to talk about too. Unlike the other one, I have 10 this time, and I don't want to take too much of your time. And if you're wondering, since I'll just put this in here, since it's the intro, just because I called it Bluemilk Edition, because for the reason being, I haven't seen, like, every single fucking thing relating to it, you know? Like, I haven't seen the entirety of, like, I've seen a lot of the Clone Wars show, which is really good. I haven't seen a lot of the animations, that's basically what I'm saying. But I have seen them. You know, I've seen, like, things of them. Like, sometimes I'd be curious and just watch certain fucking episodes. Just because, like, I seen Darth Maul was in one of them, and I was like, oh, I want to see that. You know, I just want to see what the fuck's going on. And, yeah, usually for, like, when I did DC Online Retard Rant review, I was, like, running around to look like I was door dashing. But so much has changed now that I'm just gonna be ranting. So, that driving around, and for the, at least just for this episode, I'm not gonna be doing a lot of driving around. Probably just gonna, like, play the game, destroy some shit like I'm doing. Maybe I'll do missions later. Yeah. So, yeah, so as you can see, I bought some packs and stuff. Fucking Christ. This is one thing that's really fucking annoying, is that every time a Lego game, fucking, oh my fucking Christ. Fucking stop. Jedi. I wanna go to fucking Jedi. My fuck, every time I get to it, I accidentally press one too many. This is one thing I fucking hate about Lego games, is, I mean, I love them, but they change the fucking, like, menu thing every single fucking time. It's obnoxious. So, the thing is, yeah, that's the general, like, feel and stuff. So, I'll basically be going over a lot of stuff, like, in the movies, you know, mostly the movies, because Star Wars, as much as it's got, like, comics and stuff, you know, this will mostly be about the movies and the shows and whatnot, and, my thoughts on everything. So, let's just, yeah, so, recap those Star Wars movies. Okay, so, I got this whole thing of notes right here, and I'm supposed to recap all the fucking Star Wars movies, just like I did with the Flash review, but you know all the fucking movies. You know the first one, Phantom Menace, second one, Clone Wars, Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, right? Then you got, like, Return of the Jedi, and Return of the Jedi, hold on. Yeah, sorry, I just can't fucking focus with all that sound happening. Okay, so, you know, I should... Alright, well, that's basically welcoming you to my rant. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. Do you feel welcomed? Well, you fucking better be. Get your pretzels. Assemble some snacks. Crack open a fucking cold one. Because we about to begin. And as much as I want that to be beer, it's not. I'm supposed to be watching my health and shit. This is the month I'm doing it. It's complicated. I don't really want to explain it. Okay. Whoops. Let me just, part one. Okay, so part 1, as you can see, that's what it fucking says. Oh, fuck, where should we go? For the good stuff. We should go and cause some fucking mayhem. What the fuck planet is this? Crash site? I don't even remember what this fucking planet is. Fuck it, we're going to Yavin 4. We're going to Yavin 4, hold on. Let's go to their space. Okay, so the good stuff. The reason that says the good stuff is because, oh man, the history of Star Wars is so fucking complicated. Like, there's so much good. You know, when it comes to certain fans, you know, certain fans like certain stuff. Certain fans hate certain stuff. I'm actually gonna have a whole segment on the fans. But this is everything that I consider to be the good stuff. You know, like shit like a lot of the movies I think are great. You know, like the original movies, like from 1 to all the way to the fucking like the original, like the prequels, right? Which it's so annoying that they each got a name, you know, like it's the history of the prequels, the fucking original series, and then fucking the sequels, which is really fucking irritating, you know, because it's like they're numbered, and that's a lot of the movies alone have gotten a bad rap just because of that alone, because of what they're called. And you see, when I was growing up, I came out like Revenge of the Sith, I think, came out like when I was a kid. You know, so I would see it like at Walmart and shit, playing like, buy it today, it's the newest fucking Star Wars movie. So, I mean, at least for me, when it comes to Star Wars, I have just like everybody else, I have a specific idea of what I think Star Wars is and isn't, and differences. I can't fucking talk. The differences between like Star Wars and motherfucking Star Trek. Which I say, okay, so the good stuff. What makes Star Wars is like the stories with, like, of course, involving like Anakin, because Anakin's the fucking chosen one. George Lucas already fucking mentioned that, and I feel at this point, at least when it comes to me, I hate it when new creators come in and they try to change the story, you know, like they take something that's not theirs and they add it and they say it's canon. You know, it's like when I make fan stuff, at least I'm telling you, I'm like, it's fan stuff, like this is definitely like never happened. But yeah, so the good stuff of Star Wars is, like, I think Ahsoka was pretty good, you know, for me at least. But I have some things I was going to critique about it, which I'll have a segment on. Yeah, sorry, I'm not good at this fucking game. I'm just kind of doing whatever. Whatever happens, happens. So, what is good for sure is the show, The Clone Wars. That show is really great. I haven't got through it all the way through because it's like 10, 13 fucking seasons. And each season has like 20 fucking episodes, you know? And I work 12-hour shifts, so I don't get a lot of fucking time on my hands to watch it. It's like a full-time job to watch those fucking that show. But you got that show, and then you got like you got the Clone Wars show, and you got all like the other fucking shows, like the one about I forget what his name is, but I don't know. I always gravitated more towards like the live action stuff. I don't know. The animation for me was like other people kind of. It just felt like other people trying to make their own version of George Lucas's thoughts of what it was, which I noticed which is the weirdest thing, is that usually when people make their own stuff, you know, the biggest fan is the person who made it, obviously. But it just seems like George Lucas is not a big fan of Star Wars. Just saying. Fucking Mark Hamill, he's a huge fan of Star Wars. And, like, people like Harrison Ford, you know, even though he probably respects it because it gave him his career, mostly, he even doesn't even like Star Wars. So it's different for everyone, but I think all the good stuff is like, you know, when they focus on, okay, so like 1 through fucking like 6, right? So it's like Phantom Menace all the way to Return of the Jedi. I love it when there's like more action and stuff. I feel like Star Trek is mostly just like fucking like sitting in rooms and talking and being like, hey, we're in space, but we're gonna have fucking deep politics about it. It's like, I don't want to hear that shit. Not to be like, oh, Star Wars doesn't have any political shit. Like, I know, obviously. Like, the entire fucking thing is about politics. You know, like, all the Jedis, they're like generals and shit. But really, I'm not watching it because I'm like, ooh, let's watch these fucking debates between fictional politicians. You know, I could give 2 fucking shits. You know, for me, Star Wars is all about Anakin's story, and it's about the Force. Anything involving a fucking lightsaber, I'm gonna be honest, I'm in. If I go like a whole, like a Star Wars movie should never be without a lightsaber. I'm just gonna say that. I know that might sound fucking stupid, but hey, that's how I like my Star Wars. If my Star Wars has to have a fucking lightsaber in it, or else what's the point of even watching? You know? It just doesn't seem... I'm just not as interested. You know, I want to see these wizards with their light sticks cut shit in half. That is what's fucking exciting to me. Yeah, so... Man, there's nothing on this fucking planet. Ah, fuck! Sorry, my foot had a fucking thing going on. Yeah, I'm just kind of fucking wandering in this shit. Yeah. What was that show called? There was a show, it was like, there was a show, they put it into the Ashoka show, and I think what they're doing is the Clone Wars show and anything connecting to that universe, so like afterwards where Thrawn and the other kid, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like, in the show he finds Darth Maul and shit, and like Vader is there, and Ahsoka fights Vader, and it's like the last time you see her in the show. I forget what that fucking kid's name is though. He gets trapped in the Ahsoka show, and that's like the whole fucking point of the show. We're finding his ass. But I don't know what the fuck this is. I'm out this bitch. Yeah, I feel like Star Wars though is at its best when it's about the Jedis and the Force and everything, and putting the universe into balance and everything. And it's like, you know, like the Emperor type shit versus the Jedi. It's the dark side versus the light side, and everything in between. But shit where it's like people talking about their fucking politics, like the goddamn fucking Halo show, where it's just hours of just sitting in rooms and talking about people's fucking politics and their rights and whatnot. Like, I could not give a fuck. Even if he had to force me. There's no way. Ooh, yeah. Can I choke a Jedi? Can I choke a Jedi? Anakin could. Yeah. And, you know, there's some parts of, like, the Obi-Wan show that were really good. And, I hear that there's a YouTuber called Pixel Joker 69 or 95 or something like that. I think it's 65 or 95. I can't remember. But there's a YouTuber. He's making the entirety of the show of basically the Obi-Wan show, but he's turning it into a movie, and I think he's gonna make it way better than what it was. The only reason I'm excited about a YouTuber working on a film, I usually wouldn't be that excited, but this man actually worked in the show. Like, he worked on the actual show, which means at this point it could be canon. You know, I'd prefer it to be canon. There's like certain things that I wish were fucking canon, you know? Like, so as you know, the original lightsaber fight with Vader and Obi-Wan, God, it sucks. It's so bad. It's so wonky. They just stand there and slap their sticks together, and it's like, there was a YouTube video I seen, and man, it was amazing. It was like fucking Vader and Obi-Wan fighting like they used to, like in the third one. It has echoes of the third movie, which is really fucking awesome. I get to a point now where when I see that movie, I can't even watch the original fight because it's just so fucking stupid. And that was in the original, you know. So, goddamn. Sorry, I'm fucking retarded. Sorry, I'm trying to blast through these because I just want to make it like official like I did last time. Okay, so for the bad stuff, obviously we gotta go to Mustafar. I mean, I don't even see a question about it. We's going to Mustafar. But you know what? A lot of people like to say that, like, as soon as Star Wars was given away to Disney, that they immediately were horrible. That's not the case. We wouldn't have Mandalorian now, would we? And then you wouldn't have your beloved fucking Andor, which is not something I enjoy, but something other people enjoy. Well, I will say that my favorite moment of Star Wars is in Andor. The fucking guy, so obese that he fucking dies. Hilarious. That is the greatest fucking moment of Star Wars. Like, I was so fucking obese that they make him exercise for 2 seconds and he fucking dies. It's fucking great. Okay, so I think the bad point in Star Wars is when we start trailing off, when the story becomes too much about one character. You know, Star Wars has always been about the entire galaxy, and where a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, it's a story is about, you know, people, of course, like they always have been, but they're not like, you know, it's like what made the original ones good. Original by when okay. So, I'm going to be referring to 1, 2, and 3 as the fucking movies that are labeled 1, 2, and fucking 3. Because that's how we count. That's how I count. So, when I say 1, 2, 3. So, the original... So, the point I was trying to make is that what made, like, the first 3 movies really good, you know, the reason why Obi-Wan is such a great character that I think they missed is because... the reason being, is that, like, Obi-Wan, when we were watching the movies and, like, the stories that he was going through, where he was facing, like, his, Count Dooku, which would have been his master's master, you know, and all the ties between, like, Yoda trained him, and then he turned on him, and then, you know, Dooku ended up kind of being, like, Yoda's, Dooku kind of being Yoda's little, Anakin. You know, because he strayed from the light side and he became Darth Tyrannus. And what's great about these characters, what's great about them, is the fact that I can tell you about them, but other than their legacies, I have no fucking clue what their lives are like. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, I didn't even know I can fly around like that. Like, Um, like, for example, Obi-Wan. Like, I know Obi-Wan, of course. I know fucking, all the characters. But I couldn't tell you, like, who Obi-Wan's parents were. Like, I would have no fucking clue whatsoever. Shit like that. And Anakin, like, that's what made Anakin such a great character, is that nobody fucking knew who his father was. And, it's like, we know now, because they've released it after all these years and other stuff. But can I do the spin thing? Damn it! And well, let me do the spin thing. It's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. So, yeah, I think okay. So I want to also mention the good stuff of Star Wars is like some of the visions, like the show Visions. There are a lot of episodes that are really fucking awesome, and there are really a lot of episodes that are kind of like goofy, I'll say. Yeah, but I'm afraid the point of it being is that when it comes to Star Wars, it's the legacies of the characters that matter. And I think when it came to the sequel movies, we dug way too deep into the origins of Rey. Rather than focusing on her origin, should have been more about, she should have went on these journeys to like protect the Jedi fucking like order, you know? Go back and see ancient temples instead of searching for her fucking parents. Which I know, yeah, it's like that's something everyone would do. But they're not supposed to be characters that exist in real life. They're fictional characters in the Star Wars universe. And in Star Wars, it's all about legacies. Normally. And I think that's what makes a lot of the stories great, is they're not too, like, they're in depth in the ways that like, I'll say they do make you interested, but oh, I fucking died. Like, what a lot of people are calling is Star Wars, Disney Star Wars, is where Disney likes to like take agendas from real life and apply them to the movies, being like people oh god, it's like in a lot of the new shows and a lot of the like the last movies, they try to redo stuff that we've already seen, you know, like bringing back characters that have such a permanent death that you have to clone them to bring them back. That should have never happened. And characters where their entire existence is to relay a message, and it's not about their journey, which, if you know Star Wars, it's all about character development and the legacy they leave behind and shit. Oh, can I go over there? Oh, fuck. Okay, clearly not. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, when it comes to the universe, it's so difficult because the guy who fucking had Star Wars, George Lucas, I think he messed up a long time ago. But I'll get to that in a different thing. My most annoying fucking pet peeve about Star Wars is the people who watch Star Wars. They're watching it, and they will relay like their idea of it off of other people. Like, they won't watch it and be like, oh, this is a good movie. They will not watch it, or watch it in the sense where they're like, oh, I have a friend that doesn't like it, doesn't like this fucking movie that I'm about to watch, so I'm not gonna like it at all. You know, like when I like when the sequel trilogy first came out, like The Force Awakens first fucking came out, I was excited. I was super excited because I've always wanted to hear the continuation of Star Wars. I want to see what happens to Luke. I want to see what happened to all the other characters. But what ended up happening is they ended up trying to do something so fucking new that and they ended up kind of like running into the ground. You know, they ended up like taking all this story and just basing it off nostalgia. And what you should know about Star Wars, it's like what makes a lot of the characters interesting isn't the fact that it's like, you know, for fucking example, fucking C-3PO. C-3PO was created by Vader, right? That's a cool detail. Has no fucking point in the plot. There's no point in mentioning it because nothing becomes of it. We just know that Anakin made him. And C-3PO has been basically fucking immortal. Him and R2 have been this like immortal. Can I actually fucking... Wait, can I ride this fucking thing? Okay, I don't think I'm supposed to be killing that thing. Okay. Oh, it's a flea, I guess? Well, this is a guy looking like fucking Deathstroke. He's a Mustafarian. Cool. Yeah, I think a lot of the bad stuff comes from people trying to create agendas rather than create legacies. Like, the entirety of the sequels was really about... It was more about, like, hey, remember these guys from the old movies? Yeah, well, we're gonna kill them all off. And that's the whole entire series is just about killing off those characters and telling you, oh, yeah, nothing ever became of any of them. Which really sucks. That's the worst part. Is that people that were just same thing with the fucking Flash movie. You know, it's like people trying to make money, and it could have been better. You could have just made it make sense for the fucking lore. You know, it's like in a possibility that this is like a real. Like, there's like a universe out there that's like Star Wars, you know, and then in a multiverse of infinity, that means that there is a universe out there that where Star Wars is a real thing, and so that means that it's like certain characters wouldn't act that way. You know what I mean? Like the guy who was so hopeful, and like Luke who was so what is it? He was so like, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but he basically brought Vader, which was the most feared person in the universe, back to the good side, the light side, which is a task that others have tried before, but they've failed. And he managed to bring him back from the dark side, which I think I actually have my own thoughts on, but I think I've been on this one too long, so I'm just gonna move on. Move on. Fuck. Sorry. Oh yeah. This one's a fucking pet peeve I have. Where we're gonna go? We'll go to this fucking planet. This planet's pretty cool. So I have a huge fucking pet peeve when it comes to goddamn fans. And when it comes to Star Wars, there are good fans and there are bad fans, I think. Alright, so I'm gonna get one thing off my fucking chest right now. Super fucking obnoxious. The difference between, like, people who grew up watching different movies, and at this point, that's all Star Wars really is at this point. It's people grew up watching different ones. So, people who, like, in the fucking 80s, and they watched, like, they literally watched, like, the original series be released in theaters. You know what I mean? Like, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Those original movies, when they came out, people will constantly refer to them as movies 1, 2, and 3, and that fucking pisses me off so much. Because as a writer, if you're, you know, it's like, he wanted to make 1, 2, and 3, you know, like Phantom Menace, fucking, it's obnoxious I have to say the fucking names of it. What? I don't know what this is. I'm just flying around. It's obnoxious that I have to actually say what the fucking names are. Because, it's like, it's so fucking irritating. It's, Phantom Menace, Clone Wars, and Revenge of the Sith. He wanted to make those movies, but he didn't want to do them wrong because he did not have the technology to make them as good as they were now. So you know what he did? He worked on the movies that he thought he could work on. Oh shit. I keep forgetting I can move when that happens. Yeah, so when George Lucas made those original movies, he made those specific ones because those were the ones that he was able to work on without completely fucking up, you know? Because he knew, because of where they are, because the time period that he was in, he was limited to the technology that he had, basically. The reason I'm mentioning that, God, sorry, hold on. Let me give you what the movies never gave us. The last 3 movies. And that's this duo. Right here. These two never even fucking met again. So depressing. Can I go outside? Are we trapped in here? I'm not allowed to go outside? Okay, well, whatever. So the fans of Star Wars are some of the most toxic fucking fans in, like, the one being more fucking worse than Star Wars fans are Rick and Morty fans. You know, because it's like, they take it to such a serious fucking level. And they're so stupid. There's people just trying to enjoy these, you know, this little tiny escape from the agony of life. And people take it too fucking seriously, and they ruin it for everybody. Holy shit, this place is huge. God. I was hoping I get to walk around in the sandy area, but it's okay. So, yeah, so the fans take things seriously to the point where, back when Force Awakens was first released in theaters, there was a guy who spoiled the movie for everyone. And they put him in the hospital. That's how fucking serious people take shit. And, there's a really annoying thing that happens. That happens to me a lot. Where, like, watch how I care about, like, the Flash and stuff. How everything has to be, like, according to the comics. Star Wars is different. Because, unlike the Flash, Star Wars is... It's all about, you know, like, it's hard to tell if it started from the movies or not, but, you know, it's like, without the movies, there are certain characters that, like Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan, Anakin, Mace Windu, they look like that because of the fucking movies. You know, it's just like Count Dooku. Count Dooku just looks like oh god, the guy who played him, the actor, which he's awesome too. Props to him because he actually met Token, which is fucking awesome. That's J.R.R. Token. But I'm not trying to talk about that. The fans of Star Wars, so there's the fans of each time period. There's the fans of the original movies that came out, and they will always refer to 4, 5, and 6 as 1, 2, and 3. Bear with me. And then there's the sequel fans, which is like me, which refer to the first 3 movies as 1, 2, and fucking 3, obviously. And you see what the problem is? And then when the sequel come along, they refer to those as the correct numbers. Right, so if that's the only, so it's like 1, 2, 3. And this was a constant problem with like a lot of people that I knew, where I would tell people, I'd be like, oh, what's your favorite Star Wars film? And I would be like, you know the third one? Like, yeah, where he fights Vader? And I'm like, no. The third one, Revenge of the Sith, you fucking retard. Ridiculous. Yeah, but like, it's like, Revenge of the Sith is the third film. And it is called the third fucking film because that's how he made them. He didn't want you to watch it. Here's, according to the fans that think this is how you're supposed to watch all the movies, right? 4, 5, and 6. Gotta watch those first. Then, you watch 1, 2, and 3. Okay? And after that, you watch the fucking, what? Because they're like, oh, you have to watch it in the way that it was released because it's how he wanted you to watch it. So, yeah, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Like, God, I don't even know, like 7, right? And then Han Solo, Mandalorian, and then, which are all different time periods, by the way. 7. Yeah, and then like 8, and then probably like another season of Mandalorian. But you know what I mean? It's like, you're not supposed to watch it in the order it's fucking released. He just released it like that because that's all he had. That was the, you know what it is. I'm not gonna fucking repeat myself. But so, the type of fan that I'm like I said, I grew up watching the sequel movies. God, fucking sequel movies, Jesus Christ. I'm like brain dead. I've watched the fucking prequels, the first original 1, 2, 3. I keep calling it the original because in the stories, like, that's where Anakin's story begins, in the first fucking 3 movies. You know, it shows you the rise of Anakin, and it shows you his entire family's, like, basically, like, what's going on. And it shows you, like, you know, what happened to him, how he lost his way from being the chosen one. All kinds of shit. Are you fucking serious? Jesus Christ. Han Solo can't help but fucking fall to his death. I think a lot of the fans put pressure on the movies so fucking heavily because even, you could see even like Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo to die so fucking much that even back when he was frozen in carbonite, he wanted the character to die. And it's so fucking irritating that, like, shit like that. It's, like, people, literally, they were like, well, like, one thing about the movies, and they'll just, like, dismiss it. Like, when the prequels came out, the first three movies came out, like, when I was younger. People didn't like them. You know, it was like the sequels. Like, they didn't like them, even though they're better than all the other fucking movies. In which that's, like, the best fucking time period. Where Obi-Wan and Mace Windu are still alive, and, all the stuff going on with Anakin. You know, Anakin being, like, the greatest warrior they ever had, of course. And then, you know what happened. Yeah, with my fucking most irritation comes with the fans, because a lot of times people will watch these fucking movies, and their friends who aren't Star Wars fans will be like, well, I didn't like that one, so it's not cool. And because it's not cool, people are just gonna blindly fucking follow them and be like, oh yeah, yeah. So people don't have their own fucking opinions. They just constantly base opinions off other people. They're just like moviegoers, which I'm not like a huge fucking like genius on the lore and everything, but at least I know like certain things. You know, I know that instead of having the Emperor again, we should have had motherfucking Plagueis. I swear to God. Would have been better. It's just, anything would have been better. Honestly. Instead of the Emperor again, why did it have to be the Emperor again? Why wasn't it like Thrawn or something? You know, I know that he was just now fucking like introduced, but still, they could have introduced him like way earlier than that, and he could have been like the villain for the last fucking film. But you know, what can you do? Yeah, it's not a big surprise that a lot of my problems come from the fans and stuff. Fuck, what the fuck is this? Yeah, and so people like different things about it, like, when it comes to a lot of the older fans, they constantly, yeah, like I said before, they refer to the fucking 4, 5, and 6 as 1, 2, and 3. Even people are doing that now, and it's like, oh yeah, just because people have been always calling them that, doesn't mean that's what they should be fucking called. Really irritating. And it's like, when I watch these movies and stuff, I'm always thinking about what the characters would do themselves, like in lore terms. God fucking damn it, I'm fucking retarded. So, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just kind of winging it. Yeah. And man, Star Wars fans, I don't even know why they call them Star Wars fans. Every time something's released, like literally the first original movies came out, 4, 5, and 6, and people loved it, but then they didn't like Return of the Jedi, you know, which was like the last one, number 6, and then the prequels came out, and the technology was better, it looked better, and made more sense. You know, like the lightsabers were cooler and they made more sense. You actually could see what's going on instead of, you know, it was like just better quality, and the stories were actually deeper. It wasn't just like, here are these missions, go do them. Also, we're gonna half-ass your training, and you're just gonna win in the end because you always do. Like, nothing's gonna beat that third film. Revenge of the Sith. Nothing's gonna beat it. It was just too damn good. You know? Just... Okay, yeah. We're just gonna fall all the way down. Fuck it. I'm gonna kill myself. You know what I'm fucking done talking about? To all these stupid fucking fans. Some of the worst fans in history. Speaking of, I have a little fucking rant I'd like to talk about. Okay, so for this, we're gonna go... I don't know what the fuck planet this is. Fuck it, we'll go here. I have a little bit of a fucking irritation. Everyone thinks that Andor is the greatest fucking show of all fucking time. I know I already did a review for Andor, but I'm gonna fucking say it again. Andor is good, yes, but Andor is not great. Like, when I was watching that show, I had to remind myself it was Star Wars. That's how fucking bad it was. And I don't know what everyone else was watching. Clearly it was not the same fucking show that I watched. Because the shit that I watched... I mean, it was like... Man, every single episode was him, like, getting into some trouble that he definitely could have prevented 100%. Like, the show starts off, and he fucking, like, kills 2 guards over an inconvenience. Didn't have to do that. And the plot, a lot of people like to defend this fucking thing. It's like, I don't even know why we got a show about this guy, because, yeah, it's like he appeared in Rogue One, but he appeared in Rogue One, and there's a line that he says that really fucking pisses me off, and he says that, he's like, I've been fighting this fight for the rebels my entire life, and that's not fucking true, because he didn't even know that that lady was a fucking rebel until the show ended. Like, literally, like, the last episode happened, guy was probably, like, in his fucking, like, 20s or whatever, 30s, I don't know, he was the age he was when Rogue One begins, basically, and he literally, like, fucking, he learned that she was a fucking rebel. Like, he didn't even know that she was a rebel, until the fucking last thing. And she did that little speech where she's like, fuck the Empire, they're all a bunch of bullshitters and they suck. And then she started that, like, little war thing, like, after she died, which I will say there are scenes that were entertaining, which they were, but I don't know if I'd call that fucking Star Wars. I mean, God, of all the shows, I don't even want to watch Andor again. It's like, there are great scenes in it, of course. There are great scenes in every Star Wars show. You know, there's a lot of Star Wars shows that have great scenes. I'd rather watch anything than watch Andor fucking again. And it's really fucking irritating that everybody's, like, praising it, because it wasn't really that good. Everyone's like, oh, it's so great, it's the greatest fucking thing of all time. And it was mediocre, I think. But I think, just like I was saying before, there are certain fans that their idea of Star Wars is sitting around and fucking talking. That's Star Trek, motherfucker. You want to talk about Star Trek? You can join that fucking universe. Just 90% of it is just, you know, space travel and then 80 fucking minutes of people talking. Like example for fucking Andor. This show was so fantastic that every single time... So, okay. I'll just go over the fucking show with you. Thing starts. He fucking kills 2 security guards, right? Gets on this list. There's like a guy that gets obsessed about it, and that goes literally nowhere. They drag that through the entire fucking season too. They drag it through the entire show, where this guy, like, is trying to get Andor into trouble, and he can't get anyone to give a fuck, and he has to end up doing it himself and shit. I don't know why we focused on that, because I had no fucking point. No point mentioning it, because all he does is, like, he saves a chick from this guy works for, like, the Empire, and he works on the, like, the lowest level of the Empire. He's basically like a fucking janitor. Andor, after that, goes, oh my god, I just killed these cops, I gotta leave. So he leaves, and he fucking, like, I'm trying to think. Oh, no, he gets into this thing where he wants to get out, right? So he joins these people that he doesn't know are rebels, No fucking clue. He doesn't care about their cause. He repeatedly says, I do not give a shit about your cause. I don't care. I just want to get the money for the job. So this is a guy that's worked for the rebels his entire life that doesn't give a shit about the rebels in the fucking show that everyone is praising. And he does this whole heist with all these people, right? It becomes successful. The lady who sends them on the heist after the heist is successful goes, oh my god, what happened to all my money? Maybe your money went where you fucking, like, had them steal it from. Dumbass. You know, it's like, oh, she secretly works for the fucking, rebels, but she really, you know, she works for the Empire, but she secretly works for the rebels. And it's like, it's fucking irritating. Because they steal the money from her, which she tells them to do. Because it's supposed to be this fucking secret thing. And he, at the very end of the heist, this guy from their heist tries to steal the money. And so he, like, of course, accidentally kills him. Because everything with Andor is a fucking accident. He's a stooge. And he accidentally kills the fucking guy, and they go, oh my god, you killed one of our people. And so the people that he does the heist from, he saves them from their money getting stolen. They chase him down now. People who are still the rebels, they chase him down for, you know, it's like, they think that he's the person that wants to steal the money, but really he's the one that saved the money from being stolen. So that happens. He runs away, he tries to get away, and he goes to a beach, right? Goes to a beach, thinks that he's safe. And then, while he's at the beach, he backtalks a fucking shore trooper, goes to prison for life. Literally goes to prison for life for no fucking reason. Could have avoided that. Could have just shut his fucking mouth and gone home. Didn't want to do that. Couldn't even do it. And so these are my problems with Andor. Every single thing that pushes the show is an accident. It's everything, like, it's almost as if, like, there's no point in the show. The show's not trying to take you anywhere. It's just, here's this fucking guy who doesn't know what he's doing in the world, in the universe. And we're following him for some fucking odd reason. You know? It's like, we could have had a show about, like, Saw Gerrera and shit. Cad Bane could have had his entire fucking show. Can you imagine that? Like, the origin of Cad Bane and shit? That would be fucking awesome. Instead of seeing him in Boba Fett, and watch Boba Fett talk about fucking politics for 80 fucking minutes. And how the Boba Fett show had nothing to do with Boba Fett. I mean, yeah, it had him on a journey. That shit was cool. But it was mostly like, remember Boba Fett from the movies? Yeah, now he, like, has Jabba's place, but he doesn't do anything. He has Jabba's place, and he just, like, fucking, you know, he just has his own little gang of bounty hunters, so he doesn't need to be a bounty hunter anymore. Which is fantastic. I'm kidding. Not fantastic. So fucking stupid. Yeah, well, it's been a little rant about Andor, because I don't know why everybody's got their fucking dicks wet for Andor, because it's an alright show, you know. Like, I would never want to watch it again, because it was fucking boring. You got to a point where there were moments where I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm watching Star Wars. And if I have to get to a moment where I have to fucking remind myself what I'm watching, it steers from the franchise. And I'm sick of these people who are watching all these things and they're going, oh my god, it's so amazing. Moviegoers versus people who are just, like, fucking excited for the deep background of the character, and they get all this dumb shit. This character is doing shit that don't fucking matter. All this shit can be avoided, and it's just like, it's basically just like, fuck you. I don't want to. We don't want to tell a story. We just want to get the show over with so we can have people watch it and people to fucking sell it to. You know, it's not a story about, for example, like a guy who, you know, grows up in a certain place and slowly loses his way with the people he thought he was connected to. No. It's about a guy who doesn't know where he's going, constantly is running off and getting into fucking trouble where he didn't have to be in trouble. You know, it's like everything that he got in trouble with, it could have been avoided 100%. That's my biggest fucking thing about Andor. It's so irritating. I don't know what people fucking... I don't know, like, if they watch Andor, and they, like, change the fucking channel while the movie's going, or they turn the movie on, they turn the fucking show on, and then they play, like, the greatest thing over that, so everything they're hearing is this masterpiece of a film, because that's not what Andor is. Andor is mediocre at best, and you can tell that some of these fake fans come because they'll be like, oh, if you hear a fan praise Andor, you know they're not real. They're just fucking talking about, like, all the boring shit. And for me, possibly having some form of ADHD, Andor does not grab my attention in the slightest. And anyone who thinks Andor is the greatest fucking masterpiece on Earth can go down to the goddamn cock festival and fucking suck on a goddamn 60-12-inch duck testicle. And that's how I feel about that. Alright. Yeah, I know we didn't go to that planet, but... yeah. Tatooine, talk about fucking lifeless. God, where was she even? Look at her Coruscant, we haven't been there. So, the Ashoka show. If you want to watch something that's actually fucking interesting, here's the thing. The entire show in itself is great. There are two characters in the show who kind of like ruin the vibe for me. Other than that, the show is great. The visuals of the show, awesome, just like how Star Wars is supposed to be. It has epic moments, like Ahsoka on top of a ship, outside, slices a ship in half with her lightsaber. Standing on a ship. I've never seen anyone do that. There are some things about it that don't make sense, that I'll get to. But I think the only reason that people are being like, fuck you, I hate this show, is because, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's like that fucking chick who was talking about she likes making dudes uncomfortable and shit, missed the entire point of Star Wars. It's not about making anyone uncomfortable. It's about telling a story. And if you can't tell a story without setting an agenda, then you need to get your fucking brain screwed on differently. Because when you watch Star Wars, it should have that magic feel to it, like it used to. You know, I remember watching Star Wars and have it be like, it's like this magical fucking thing. Every moment felt like it was a magical moment, you know. Seeing all the characters overcome obstacles, they're evil, and, you know, all the things that they encounter that seem impossible in their world, that's like possible in our world, vice versa. See, okay, so one character that it's sad to say that we didn't see him until the guy died. One character that really does the show for me is this character called Balon Skull. And I'm not just praising this guy because he's not alive now. This guy's performance in Ahsoka is actually really good. because it's like, it's not to be like, oh, he's like so powerful, he's overpowering Ahsoka. Like, he's at par with Ahsoka, you know? I don't know how old he was, like, when this was all happening, you know, like this part of the world, this part of the galaxy was happening, you know, when she was like 12 or whatever. But it's clear that he existed in the Jedi Order at some point. He even talks about it, and he's like a character that's like so deep. And it's like, he knew Anakin, which I don't always talk about. Like, they always bring in characters that don't need to exist. Like Reva from the fucking Obi-Wan show didn't need to exist. She could have not existed, and the show would have been better, actually. This was different. I'm glad that they put him in the show, this Balon Skull guy, but I'm glad he didn't turn into Reva, because he could have been like Reva. He could have been like overbearing, but he wasn't like obnoxious like Reva was. He was like a character that made you go, he added back the mystery back to, you know. And really, even though the Ahsoka show is kind of its own thing, it really was like another season of, God, like the Rebels show. I think that's what it was called, the Rebels show, and it had that kid in it, and the whole thing is about basically like Ahsoka. Really, what's it about is about, the point I watch it for is for the Ahsoka character entirely. So Ahsoka goes through all these things, and she's the oldest that we've ever seen her, and she deals with like the death of Anakin, and she deals with his transition to the dark side. Even there's like a point where she literally fucking dies, where I'm just gonna say, obviously there's some fucking spoilers. If you're watching something called the Retard Review and you didn't know there were going to be spoilers, well, I guess we know who the real retard is. Anyways, Ahsoka, what I watch it for is, which is fucked that you have to say that nowadays. Like, yeah, they really need to get their shit together, because having to avoid a whole part of a show or a movie is fucking stupid, you know? It's like, the first couple of movies, like, I gotta say, like, the third movie, you know what, every movie I got problems with, but it's like, nothing like in this show, the Ahsoka show. There are moments, so she literally, like, starts having an apprentice, right, which is this chick, Sabine, I think her fucking name is. Sabine and the blonde chick, well, we're gonna call them Purplehead and Purplehead and Whitehead McGee, right? Whitehead McGee is the Whitehead chick fucking is Balon Skull's apprentice, and what I like about the show. Sorry, I'm just taking a break to eat some pretzels, if you don't fucking mind. Also, where the fuck was he? You know what I mean? Like, there were other shows where it showed Ahsoka and Luke met each other when they were young. So at this point, when she's like in her 40s, where the fuck is Luke? But anyways, for being like a season 1 show, I liked how Balon Skull's existence kind of, in a way, mirrored Ahsoka, you know, where it was like, he wasn't a master, but he was really skilled in the Force. You could tell, like, other than everyone else, like Rey, who just throws their lightsaber around willy-nilly, even Luke's done it. They just whip their fucking lightsaber around, back and forth, no training. Other than, like, Count Dooku, where he actually, like, fights like a person who actually held a sword once ever in his life. So, yeah, like, Balon Skull and Ahsoka mirror each other, because it's like, they were both in the Jedi Order, right? Their encounters together are awesome. When they fight each other, it's like I'm actually watching a fight again. Like, I'm not sure who's gonna win, because there's a point. What I was gonna mention was when there's a moment where Ahsoka literally like fucking dies, and she goes to the world between worlds, which is like the spirit world where all the ghosts and shit go to, and she, the fucking, what the fuck is this? She literally, when she goes there, she meets Anakin. And when I saw him again, I saw him for the first time in fucking eons. You know, last time we seen like a furtheration of like Anakin was, God, back when Luke waved goodbye to him. You know what I mean? That's how fucking long ago it was. It's a long time. That was the furthest scene we've ever seen of Anakin, other than it being like the past, where it's like the Obi-Wan show, where it's all not in the future. This actually was like, oh, we have more Anakin content now. Now it's not just him waving. Like, seeing him so smoothly transition from the light to the dark was something I've wanted to see for years. And the flashbacks of the Clone Wars and her perspective of going through it was so fucking cool. It was the coolest shit I have ever seen since Return of the Revenge of the Sith. And I just wish, you know, we could like get more stuff like that. And I don't know how Andor is better than seeing like Commander, like, oh, what was his name, Commander Rex, seeing him again. Awesome. Get to see him in fucking like live action. Like, I can't remember if that's his actual name, but like, he was like in the cartoon, and he was like a big influence on Ahsoka and stuff. Oh shit. Okay. I may have fucked up. I wish I could go out there, see what's going on over there. You know, I can only check on this part of it. Anyways, the Ahsoka show. The characters that really fucking fuck it up for me are the blonde chick and Sabine. I know her name. Purple chick and blonde chick. Everyone else is great. Baylan Skoll is great. Ahsoka is wonderful. She's fantastic. Ahsoka has a problem, like, it's clear that she's never had to be in charge. In the sense where it's like, oh yeah, she's never had to train someone. She's always been, like, the person being trained, you know? But she's not a good, like, Jedi Master, I'll say that. Because she's not good at training. Sabine, she literally tells Sabine that, she literally tells fucking Sabine where, yeah, here's my problem with the show, is that I love the Ahsoka's character when she goes through her own trials, but when it comes to her and Sabine, Ahsoka does not have good judgment. Being like, there are moments where she literally will tell Sabine, do not do this, and as your master, I'm telling you if you do this, the entire universe is at stake. And we all know when it comes to like the Padawans, they're very respectful of like their masters, with the acceptance of like Anakin, which would make sense. Even the character in the show, there's like a android, he talks about how she came from a long line of Jedis who were unorthodox, which is very true. But I mean, unless she wants to turn Sabine into Vader, that's how you do it. I mean, she literally is like, hey, your friend, I know that he's like on a planet that's like impossible to find, but never let the dark side win. Like, literally fucking never, because you see what happened last time we let them win? So what does Sabine do? Sabine literally does the opposite of everything that fucking, she literally does the fucking opposite of everything Ahsoka says. She tells her to not do something, and she will deliberately fucking do it. She will literally get kidnapped, and she'll have no idea. Like, it's like Sabine's character is the equivalent of having a character with too much confidence and not enough intelligence, because there are a lot of moments where she could have been killed. And if it weren't for people trying to get information out of her, she would have been dead in seconds. There were moments where I was watching and I was like, God, it's like, not even Anakin would get away with some of the dialogue that Sabine has been given. And the blonde chick, I don't know where Balin's Skull got this dollar store fucking Padawan, but I swear to God, Sabine never held a fucking lightsaber in her life. Right, so Ahsoka starts trying to train her. Sabine's worse than fucking Rey. She is whipping around like a redneck in a parking lot at 3 a.m. and you're just trying to park your car. She is just blasting in directions that don't even make sense. And so this whitehead, I call her whitehead because it's her fucking, she's blonde. Blondehead. Blondie. We'll call her Blondie, I guess. So Blondie, fucking Balin's Skull's retard, she cannot defeat someone who never held a lightsaber in their life. Let me tell you something. When it comes to sword fighting, and someone's experienced, you can tell. But versus somebody who's never fucking held like a sword ever in their life, versus someone who's had training, it ain't that hard. People leave themselves open all the time. It's like she deliberately doesn't kill Sabine, and then gets confused why her boss gets mad at her, and he's like, kill this fucking bitch. And every time she keeps failing. It's amazing. Like, yeah, she'll stab her like once, and it's a bullshit stab because it doesn't even fucking kill her. And I'm sick of that happening too. I'm sick of seeing characters get stabbed in the same spot Qui-Gon got stabbed, because it undermines his fucking character. You know, it's like, it's just to be like, oh, all these characters survived being stabbed in that place. Qui-Gon couldn't. It's like Qui-Gon did everything he could in that moment, and it really fucks it up. But the Ahsoka show, yeah, Balin's Skull is the best character, and what I love about his character, people literally take things so fucking far out of context. I swear to God, I don't know where people get some of this shit sometimes. Literally, there's like a moment at the very end of the show, before he had even watched the last episode, people were like, oh my God, Balin's Skull connected to Emperor Sidious, connected to fucking Snoke, confirmed. You know where they got this information from? This confirmed his final scene, which is the actor's actual final scene of the episode, where he walks. Okay, so there's a point where Balin's Skull's like, okay, fuck you, I don't even want to train you anymore because you suck. He doesn't say that, but I mean, there's really no other reason for him to leave her behind. Yeah, he leaves her behind because she fucking sucks, and because Blondie sucks. And he goes to a cliff. He stares off the edge of that cliff. He sees a bunch of statues, and they're statues of like the Mortis thing, where it's like the old legends being like, you know how like there's like the son of the dark side, and then there's like the balance in the middle, and then there's like the daughter, which is the good side, which is the light side, you know, shit like that. He says not a fucking single word. He just stares off a cliff, and somehow that means he's connected to Snoke and the Emperor. I'm sure there are reasons, but I mean, I have no fucking clue what people are talking about. I swear, when people watch these movies, they're fucking high half the time. It just don't make sense. You know what I mean? It just drives me fucking nuts. So, yeah, everything going on with Ahsoka, though, I love how Ahsoka goes from being like, she's like this, which, the show, when it comes to just Ahsoka, when it's not about trying to save everyone, and, like, yeah, there are moments where it's like, okay, yeah, you're sacrificing the entire universe to save a guy you know, but you're gonna let Thrawn become the new Emperor because you wanna see your friend. You know what I mean? The last time we chose emotions over the universe, all the Jedi died. I'm surprised she's not taking that more seriously, because it's like, those were all people she knew. Those are her friends. Yeah, but that moment where she fucking, like, falls off the edge and dies, God, that was so cool. It was like she went to the other fucking world, and she met Anakin. Anakin's like, hey, how you doing? And that was the best moment of the show, honest. That one tiny moment was better than the entire fucking Andor show. Seeing Anakin, there's a moment where she pisses him off, and he's like, you're not learning anything. Alright, well, time to teach you using my other fucking self. And he pulls out that Vader, and he fucking uses it on her. It's so great. And she's like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? That fucking moment was awesome. But, yeah, Sabine, the character Sabine, and the other fucking retard, the blonde chick, God, they take it so fucking out of me. Like, they literally, like, ruined the fucking show for me. Baylan Skoll, though, it sucks that we don't get to see more of him, because I was so curious as to his character, because he was, like, I don't know if he was, like, because the show is supposed to be after the Empire, right? And it's after the Empire is gone. And it's after when Vader dies, obviously, because he's in the afterlife. And so that means Luke is out there somewhere. And he's, like, not contacting her. You know, he's not, like, helping her and shit. They met each other in the Mandalorian show. And he didn't bother fucking mentioning Luke. They didn't bother putting Luke in Ahsoka's show, which felt like they were kind of building up to that, but then replaced it with Sabine. Rather than having Sabine, I would have put Luke there, but that's just me nitpicking. So the show is basically like taking her, like, right now as I'm looking at her, and forming her into the person that she should be. You know, being like the moment where oh, Cad Bane. The moment. Sorry. So, taking her character, the show kind of like transforms her character from this to the next thing, and she finally becomes like a Jedi Master, I feel, because she literally fucking dies and then trains with her old master and comes back realizing she's dealt with her past. And in a way, she still has to work on being a Jedi Master. Clearly she sucks at it because Sabine is a fucking retard. And not a good one. And, yeah, so... yeah, in the story of Ahsoka is really a continuation of the first time that you see her from Mandalorian. And in the Mandalorian show, she's introduced. And that was the first time they decided to take something from the cartoons and put it in to canon. And, yeah, they put it into canon. And they, there was a moment, right, there's like a villain that returns from Mandalorian show, and she becomes like one of the main villains before Thrawn comes. That's a cool moment. And her fighting that chick once and for all, I think her name's like Morgana or something, and she has like the Night Sisters. It's cool seeing them outside of the game, because I didn't know about them until Jedi Order, the first one, because that's the one that I have. And some of these fucking planets, I have no idea what they are. What are you? I don't know what you are. Bespin, Dagobah, Utapau. I don't know what the fuck Utapau is. Fuck it, let's go there. Yeah, so I'm actually excited because I hear that Ahsoka is getting a season 2. Thank fucking Christ. Because I want to see more of Ahsoka's journey. And I could give a fuck less about Andor. I probably won't even watch the next season of Andor. Guy's fucking dead. You know. If anything, the sequels should have had fucking Ahsoka in it. Should have had Ahsoka beating Luke. Thinking about it, Rey's entire character can be replaced with fucking Ahsoka or her apprentice. Honestly, just thinking about that right now. And they really, you know, it's like there are things that there are places where I think they went wrong, and I shall go over them. Oh, okay, I know what the planet this is. So I'll try to make this one short and sweet, but the moment I think, hold on, let me choose this character. Let me choose a character quick. Let's have him read me this place. Have him come here with. You know what? I know who. Hell yeah. Right, so a lot of people think that. Okay, so a lot of people think that Star Wars went wrong back when he sold his universe. George Lucas made a contract with Disney, the Disney Corporation Media, whatever, and now they own all of Star Wars. Literally, all of fucking Star Wars belongs to Disney. The mouse is in control. Did he have a... Why do we have a gun? Did Grievous ever have a gun? Okay, I'm sorry. It was just... That fucking threw me off. Sorry, I don't remember him having a gun. Whatever. A lot of people think that George Lucas, back when he... Which, I'm on par with that, definitely. For one, I agree. On that one moment, yes, that George Lucas should have never sold Disney his own characters. That happens to a lot of even like comic book writers. That's one thing that I'm really fearful of. Why I'm so, you know, possessive over the things that I create, because I will never sell my characters. No matter if someone came up to me and was like, "Hey, I'll give you $12 million, but you literally have to, give me all the universes that you've worked your entire life creating, and you will never get them back or be able to create anything from them ever again." And I wouldn't be able to do it. I would say no. I don't need that bad. You know, I don't need $12 million. I've been fucking poor before. I don't need that money. Money isn't the thing that drives me in life, even though I spent most of my time working, and that's, you know, it's got its own reasons. But anyways, you know, George Lucas, yeah, he should have never sold his fucking universe, which is fucking bullshit that he did. But it was probably because he wanted money to make some stuff, because I heard after that, he actually decided to fucking, like, make stuff, like, afterwards. Like, he literally made more fucking movies. He wrote scripts for movies that we will never fucking see. He wrote scripts for the last 3. sequel trilogy, which was going to be completely different for George Lucas, but because he sold his universe, now it doesn't become that. But everybody knows that the creator is the true god of that universe, and whatever he says goes in that universe because he created it. So, and it really sucks because I think now that it's such a big thing, like Star Wars wasn't meant to ever be anything, but now that it's such a big thing, I think now he probably sees the passion in it, but it's just too late. You sold your universe, buddy. And Disney has what's going wrong with it is that Disney, they're not working on making stories. They are working hard to make movies. See, when George Lucas went back when he made Star Wars, he was working on, when he was making the episodes, he was trying to tell a story. He was trying to convey us, fuck this. He was trying to relay a universe to us, you know, get us deep in this little universe that he was creating, and, you know, by telling us that Anakin's the fucking chosen one. But when you sell your universe like that, it fucks up everything, because it takes everything that you ever said about your characters, and it flips them completely on their ass. And, actually, the big fucking problem with all these shows and all these movies is that the reason why the original movies worked, 1 through fucking 6, so the Phantom Menace all the way to Return of the Jedi, even people have forgiven Phantom of the Menace, which people didn't like that movie at first, but now, oh Jesus, sorry, I fucking fell. People didn't like that movie at first, but it was made by George Lucas, so it is canon. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. So, literally, people are forgiving fucking Phantom Menace because the other shit has just gotten so fucking bad that it's like, I think the big problem is that we are, every single project, every show, every new movie has a completely different director, and it should have stayed George Lucas. I don't know why they're hiring all these other directors. They should have had George Lucas still there, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that he had nothing to do with all the other fucking shows and movies, and he's still fucking alive, means that, the one, he doesn't give a shit, just at this point could be the fucking case, or they just don't care enough to fucking have him involved, which is fucking bullshit, because it fucks everything up. It makes everything confusing, and things that were canon aren't canon anymore, things that were canon aren't. But if there's one thing for sure, the moment that went wrong was him signing that contract and going, okay, yeah, I might need money for these movies, but not realizing he's sacrificing a world he created to do that. Which a lot of people would do it because everyone does sluts for money, but I'm not. I'm okay with being fucking poor and homeless and shit. I'll make shit work the best I can, just like I always do, but basically the point is, I think that's the moment. The moment where Star Wars started going downhill is the fact when George Lucas stopped working on it. It'd be the equivalent of, you know, it's like Stan Lee, when he stopped working on the stories and he had no part in them, that's when Spider-Man started going downhill. That's its own thing, you know? But I almost don't even, it's like, now that Stan Lee is like not even around anymore, I'm almost not even sure if I want to continue the story of Spider-Man. It's just because he was the original creator, you know what I mean? And I know he would want it to keep going. I know I wasn't trying to talk about Spider-Man, but I'm just saying, the original creator always, to me, has the say of what happens in that universe. So even if a million people are saying this and this and this and that, the person who made the fucking universe is ultimately the decision maker of what happens in that fucking reality. You know what I mean? When it comes to story making, at least. Fuck, what the fuck? Oh shit, oh shit. So, that's where I think it all went wrong. Trying to keep these short, not trying to keep you for too long. Alright, it's just a small thing I guess I want to talk about. So another part of Star Wars that's really confusing for a lot of people is the canon stuff, things that aren't canon and things that are canon. Like what I was talking about, the old fans, there are some old fans that they believe that the midichlorian thing, like the mentioning of midichlorians should never happened. When you think about it, and you think about it's possibly always been a thing, talking about midichlorians and shit. And stuff like that. It's like, things can get really confusing when it comes to canon and uncanon, because it's like, when different writers start getting involved, you know, it changes things. But ultimately, I think it's, what I believe is that George Lucas, he made the movies, and as long as those movies are in existence, you know, it's like, yeah, you can rewrite things like a cartoon. Easy shit. Fuck. I may do that. Fucking damn it. Just like this fucking mountain that I'm climbing on, it's an entire mountain of uncertainty when it comes to that part of the universe. Because people are never sure or not what's canon and what's not canon. What I know is that, what I think about it is that when it comes to the movies, if it's in the movie, it's fucking canon. You know? So, in Ashoka, them talking about how the Force is for everyone, the Force is always available to everyone, I think is bullshit. Because the fucking, I think it's bullshit, because, fucking Christ, is bullshit, because in the very first fucking movie number 1, which, in order to understand, like, the whole point of Darth Maul being cut in half came from that fucking film, so that movie is entirely fucking canon, you know what I mean? So, Jesus Christ, I was never gonna fucking unveil that. So the whole point of, they're talking about midichlorians and stuff, and I'm not just trying to talk about midichlorians, but everyone seems confused on that. And I feel like there were certain things that George Lucas had that he wanted to put into canon, and like, for example, he was gonna put in the movie them talking about Sidious, and talking about how Sidious was the real person and behind Anakin's birth, because they talk about how, oh, his birth was a mystery, just like how, you know, he's like the fucking Jesus of Star Wars and shit. Okay, we're out this fucking retard planet. Let's go to this retard planet. It's just space. Okay. Fuck is this planet? Tapioca City. Fuck it. So, they released a series. It was the Vader series, which I highly recommend. It's just called Vader, I'm pretty sure. And it's the story of how he goes from being Revenge of the Sith, literally right at Revenge of the Sith, just like on forward. From that point on, it's canon. It talks about what he did with his lightsaber, what he did with Obi-Wan's lightsaber after he captured him, after he killed him, I mean. Highly recommend that series. But, oh, this is this planet. Okay. Well, gotta be him then. So, fuck, hey, no, no. Oh, what a fucking terrifying planet. Just all water. Fuck that. So, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of confusion when it comes to canon and uncanon stuff, but that series is canon, so anything that happens in that series, I can assure you, did fucking happen. Maynard Cody. So there's moments where it talks about how, like, a lot of people used to be confused about the lightsabers, and talking about how lightsabers, people used to say that the way that they would work is that people would literally just, like, put in a fucking whatever color thing they had, and it would make it automatically fucking canon. Sorry. Hold on. Fucking retard shit. Okay. So people were talking about how, when it comes to kyber crystals, that you would have to find a certain color, and it would change the fucking, like, color of the lightsaber. But what is now canon is the fact that it can, when a kyber crystal comes out, it tunes itself to the emotion of the person. So the Sith, they are so, like, this is canon now, that when the Sith, they bleed all their hatred into their crystal, which makes it all fucking like, oh, what the fuck? I know I can control this. This is crazy. So, oh, jeez, this is fucking trippy. So yeah, now it's all about the thing. People bleed their emotions, like Force users bleed their emotion into the lightsabers, and all the colors have all the different meanings. No, I don't know all the fucking different meanings, because I'm not like a Star Wars nut, but I just know certain things, like about, for example, one of the things that end up being canon is Sidious is in fact Vader's father. He's the person that made him come into existence. And the reason I mention that is because a lot of people don't know that. I don't even think Vader ever knew that. Like, I don't think he ever knew that Sidious is the person that made him exist. And yeah, I don't know if I don't think he ever did, because they don't. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But Christ. Fucking irritating. Fucking irritating. Yes. Bounty hunter. Swap. Fucking Christ. Okay. Well. Oh, look at all those clones in there. That's so cool. Yeah, one thing I can confirm for sure is that, yeah, Vader, his father is Sidious, and Sidious used the Force to, you know, basically, like, bring him to life into his mother, and his mother never knew. You know, she had no fucking idea. She even says in the very first movie that, oh, his birth was miraculous, you know. Came out of nowhere, nobody knows who his fucking father is. Okay, I'm out of this. Fuck this. Anyways, there's a lot of confusion, but I just wanted to point that out, that a lot of people get confused about that, and it's like, yeah, it's not because, oh, he spent all that time with Vader, and so all of a sudden that makes it his son. Like, no, literally, if you watch all the other movies, and you watch all the encounters with the Emperor and all his other apprentices, you can tell that he knows, because he literally will, like, when Count Dooku is about to get fucked, he's like, kill him. You know, let him fucking die, because he failed me. And then literally, like, God, they're like those other politicians, those other alien politicians, and they literally, like, fucking, they fail him, and he's like, fucking kill him. You know, he doesn't give a shit, doesn't give a fuck. Where the fuck am I supposed to just go? I don't understand. Sorry, I'm just really fucking confused. Sorry, yeah. But one thing that I can say for sure, the movies, not the shows, because the shows, like Ashoka, kind of confuse it, because everyone cannot have the Force. It's not a fucking everyone thing. Everyone keeps saying that. It's not fucking true. Just because they didn't mention it in the other movies doesn't mean it's not fucking true. People are like, oh, they never mentioned midichlorians before, because they were never relevant before. You gotta think, when it came 4, 5, and 6, which are the movies that a lot of people grew up with, the reason why there's no information, there's no knowledge about midichlorians, is because it's all about Luke. At that point, everybody was fucking dead. So, no. Luke didn't learn about that shit until, like, basically Yoda fucking... Yoda came around and he was like... You know, Yoda came around and he taught him a few things, but he probably hasn't read the books, you know? So there's probably a lot that Luke doesn't even know. You gotta remember, Luke is actually, believe it or not, he's a new generation character. All the characters that know everything to do with, like, the Jedi Order and everything, it's like Obi-Wan, you know, like Mace Windu, Qui-Gon, Count Dooku, Yoda, they're all fucking dead. So, yeah, they're not gonna mention midichlorians when they're all fucking dead. Obviously. Figured that didn't have to be mentioned, but people are fucking retarded. You gotta fucking literally spell it out for them. And, yeah, well, one thing that I hold on to a lot is the movies. So if it's in the movies and it was made by George Lucas, then it's canon. And yeah, that's what I was gonna say. When you see a lot of the other characters, you see Sidious with the other characters, he literally does not give a shit about the other characters, like when they die and shit. Like all his other apprentices, like, oh, what's his name? What's his name is, sorry, this fucking, this game is so weird. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Okay, cool. Alright. So. What's I talking about? Yeah, so fucking when it comes to the movies, I consider that shit to be canon because it's literally George Lucas making it. And he's the original creator, so ultimately he has the final say. Even in the fact that, like, characters like Yoda, he has like that rule applied where you can never know who he truly is. You know, like it's like you'll never know his like you'll never know his true, like, lineage and stuff. Stuff like that is what made Star Wars perfect, because yeah, we'll never know why Yoda is the way that he is. Why does he talk the way that he does? Where did he... I mean, it's like, we know he came from Dagobah, but, like, he doesn't even have, like, a label. Like, that's the problem with a lot of people nowadays. They want things that have labels, and it's like, things are just perfect the way they are. Man, everything has to be fucking named and labeled, and anyways, I'm not trying to trail off, which I'm trailing off really big here. Also got this fucking card I don't know what to do with. Just kind of wandering the fucking card in my hands like a retard. Are we in this? Is this the same fucking room I just left? Fuck is this? It's a fucking arcade? The fuck? Just stumble upon an arcade? Is this? No? Okay. Oh fuck. Shit. How am I do that? Okay. Well, it sucked. I fucking suck at this shit. Maybe I'm supposed to do this. Fuck. Fuck this. Fuck this, I'm out. Yeah, I'm not trying to fucking... Okay, here's another thing. Here's another fucking problem I have. Is that when it comes to things that are canon, right? Like, hold on. Okay, so, oh, fucking really? Fuck you. You're gonna censor my words. Well, as long as I'm living in the free world. Alright, bitch. You know what that says. The incest needs to fucking stop. So... Okay, so my biggest fucking pet peeve is with the fucking last movies, and it turns out that the whole thing was basically just about it was just about fucking Rey and Kylo Ren trying to get some. You know, they just wanted... Oh, that's so cool. My god. Sorry. Is that in the very last film, Rey and Kylo Ren get together and they fucking like make out and shit, and I got no problem with characters expressing their love, but when they're related and people are gonna be like, Kylo Ren and Rey are not fucking related. Okay, let me walk you through the family tree. Since we've gone so far in the fucking future, we've forgotten who's related to who. Okay, so here's the thing. Sidious. It all starts with that motherfucker. Sidious creates Vader, right? Anakin grows up. He has a child. He has children with Padme. Padme has Luke and Leia. Luke is supposed to have children, but doesn't, I guess, in this fucking reality. What's this? The incest needs to fucking end. Luke and Leia are raised separately, so they don't know that they're siblings for a long time, until there's even a moment where it all starts, where Luke gets the hots for Leia because he doesn't know who she is in the 4th movie, which is really fucked up. I don't know why. I don't know why George Lucas made that a thing, unless he was literally just fucking winging it, which he seems to do. Which would, if it were me, it would be a calculated decision to perhaps not have incest involved. It's just me, you know. But I guess Lucas wanted that old cest coming in, you know. So sorry, hold on. I'm trying to pick a perfect ship. Hey, this ship's pretty cool. Okay, cool. So, yeah. Anakin has Luke and Leia, right? They're raised differently and then in different places. They have different names. And so Luke gets the hots for fucking Leia until he realizes it's his fucking sister, which is told by Obi-Wan and Yoda, basically. And Vader, of course. Iconic line. But, supposed to be a secret, hush hush, until that point. Leia goes off to have a child with Han Solo in the movies. As a child, motherfucking Han Solo. She, whoa. The fuck is happening? As a child, the Han Solo... Am I the First Order? Oh, it's because I'm the... Fuck, everything. Yeah, bitch. Am I the First Order? Anyways. She is a child, fucking Han Solo. Han Solo, they have Kylo Ren, right? Which makes Vader Kylo Ren's grandfather. Which also makes Sidious his great-grandfather. Okay. So, Sidious has Vader as a son, basically. And then he has another child, which is like a fucked up clone of him that's just like a normal guy. And that child has another child, and that's Rey. So Sidious is Rey's grandfather. Which makes Kylo Ren her first fucking cousin. I can't believe that's how you know no one's paying attention to the story writing. Because nobody noticed. Literally not one person fucking realized that they're related. It's ridiculous. I swear to God. It's like nobody even tries to story write anymore. They just like fucking do random bullshit. It fucking pisses me off. Yeah, so that's how fucking Rey and Kylo Ren are cousins. And I hear there's gonna be a movie. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. I keep hearing that it is gonna happen and it keeps not happening. But I hear that Kylo Ren and Rey apparently have a child, which is fucked to know that incest won and there's no way to get around it. Damn. I can't believe that's gonna be a fucking plot in the movies. Is incest wins and nobody fucking realizes it. So it's really fucked up. So this child who is gonna be this child's gonna be his own fucking cousin. Two cousins fucking. Never a good thing. Never a good thing to happen. And, you know, so there's just a lot of confusion that I wish people would research characters before making stories about them. Because then shit like this happens and then they don't even realize, and now they're so deep in the fucking movies, they can't even stop. So it's literally gone too far. You know, it's like, now what are they gonna do? You're gonna have Rey be pregnant and then realize that She's, because you didn't realize they were cousins until after you wrote the story, so now that she's having a child from Kylo Ren, you're gonna be like, oh, it's not Kylo Ren. Or you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm sorry, we fucked up. We didn't know. So yeah, this kid's gonna be his own fucking cousin. Which is fucked, but, you know, when you fuck up that bad, there's literally nothing else you can do. You know? And, yeah, it all begins with Sidious, honestly. Not a lot of people know that. They watch the movies and they think that Sidious is just his master. And if you watch, and you can tell, he cares deeply for Anakin. He cares about what's going on through him. He cares about him turning to the dark side, because that's, like, the family business, basically, at this point. And, yeah, and any other character that works for Sidious, they are so quickly sent to their fucking grave, because Sidious actually does not care for them. That he's just, like, using them. And you could say that for Anakin too, but the thing is that it's like when Anakin, there's moments where Anakin, like, failed, right? Like when he turned him into Vader, he did not have to do that. He could have looked at him just like he looked at all his other fucking apprentices and said, you failed, you're a fucking loser, I'm not gonna fix you ever. Because, no, he picks him up like it's his, he goes next to him, and he, like, touches him, like he's, like, lost a son, you know, like he's watched his son die. Which is, kind of proves the point where he really actually cares about Anakin. And, fuck is this? What the fuck is this? What is this? Sorry, did I just stumble upon a fucking secret? What is this? What are these fucking cards? I keep finding these cards, and they keep not having any purpose. What? Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just really fucking confused. There's another one over here, too. What the fuck was I even trying to... Yeah, the incest. Okay, so yeah. I'm just gonna fuck off right that. Sorry about that little pause. I just keep stumbling upon these areas that I've never seen before, and it really fucking confuses the shit out of me. Okay, yeah, so clearly you can see, I am getting fed up with all of these, you know, a long time ago when I started making my own content, I made my own, long time ago being like, when I was a fucking child, I made my own content, and I made a vow a long time ago where I said I was never gonna ever mess with anyone else's universe. But as I've gotten older, these people, they've just sold their perfect worlds, and they've fucked them into the dirt so heavily with Star Wars now. As I said last, our newest fucking main character is gonna be his own goddamn grandpa fucking cousin baby. So, that's great, right? That's what happens when you get bad writing. Damn, Obi-Wan, fuck. That's some cool shit. Some shit I wish I could do. But what this refers to, this segment here, is that I know that there's like a what if, fucking basically a what if series where Vader had like a white suit, and then it's like, oh, what happened if he never became Darth Vader, or Darth Vader, you know what I mean? Like Anakin's life differently. But I know there's all these things. But I've gotten to a point where I've seen fucking the Flash be incorrectly used. I've seen so many fucking characters used so fucking poorly that I'm starting to go, you know what? I am going to fucking do it myself if I fucking really have to. If I have to be the person to fix it to the way I think it should be, I'm going to. It's gonna be fan-made shit, obviously, because I'm not fucking George Lucas. That much is fucking obvious. But I want to make my own series about where I think everything went wrong, because everyone thinks that the story went wrong with the sequels. And I'm gonna tell you right now, and a lot of people aren't gonna like me for this, but I think George Lucas is the one that fucked up. I think a long time ago when he made Return of the Jedi, I think he fucked up because Vader dying should have never happened. I never thought that was a smart idea. I do like the scene where he talks to Luke, you know, like while he's dying. I think that part's really cool. And honestly, you can keep that in, and I might keep it in, but I'm gonna make my own fan comic where I'm basically just gonna tell you what it is. I think there's like a point where there's a moment. So the very moment that I basically am gonna change is the last piece of Return of the Jedi, and basically right when Luke goes to meet Vader at the very last end of the Return of the Jedi, C-3PO and R2 are gonna follow them, and they're gonna follow them into this. I'm only telling you now because my life is so fucking retardedly busy that I know I'm never gonna be able to create it currently. But this is what I would like to do. This is my layout. So when Luke goes to, he has like that battle where he sees the Emperor and stuff. He has that battle with Vader, which, here's the thing. Here are my points that I'm trying to make. C-3PO, telling us that C-3PO was made by Vader, have it being in the movies and have it being fucking canon, but have it never mean anything, is lazy and pointless fucking writing. There's no reason to tell me that. I'm not trying to fucking, sorry, I'm not trying to critique it. Here's the thing. I think, Luke, yeah, I know that he's like Anakin's son, but having him do a little bit of training, like Anakin, when he trained his entire life, and that's why he was so good at being what he was. Obi-Wan, same thing. He'd been training since he was a child. Luke learned, like, same as Rey, not even that long ago. And he becomes a Jedi Master within, like, what, like a few years? No problems. Only because everyone's dead, so he gets, like, a pass. Which is bullshit, but he goes up against the most powerful person in the fucking universe. The Emperor. Right? He goes against the Emperor. The Emperor has literally killed people with his lightning before. Did it with Mace Windu. And I'm sure there's lots of other characters. What I think he did it with, Count Dooku's chick, or no. But it's like, it's a point made across Star Wars that lightning has the ability to kill people. And anyone who's ever been attacked by lightning has either passed out or died. So the scene I think is complete fucking stupid and bullshit. Is at the very end, when Luke says, "Fuck you, I'm not gonna be a bad guy, I'm gonna be a fucking Jedi," just like my father. He electrocutes him for like 20 fucking minutes. 20 minutes. As to Vader, who gets electrocuted for 2 fucking seconds and dies. See my problem is? Vader literally was like at his peak at that moment. He was like the most powerful he has ever been. He has faced everything. He's faced armies, you know, he's fought entire like legions. He's probably been electrocuted a billion fucking times. But he doesn't even get he doesn't even get like the full hit of the electricity. He gets the backlash of it and he fucking dies. That's what kills him. A little bit of electricity. So you're telling me if you would have just tased the fucker, like he gets the backlash. Like literally he's just electrocuted because the Emperor is just electrocuting forward. Like the Emperor is not even electrocuting him. He's just being electrocuted because the current is connected to him. And fucking it's like, yeah, I love Luke's character, but Luke would not be able to withstand 30 fucking minutes of being electrocuted, which at that point made it seem like he was being electrocuted for the longest fucking time, with no effect. He was just like, I'm a little injured, even though I just started learning how to use the Force a few years or months ago, and now I'm just like a Jedi Master. So this is what I'm gonna do. So instead, Luke follows Luke when that moment happens, he goes in there and he tries to, he fights Vader with all that he has, and the moment comes where he's like, no, I'm not gonna and when he's sent in, like when he goes in to see the Emperor and Vader, C-3PO will be slowly following behind, and he like sneaks onto the ship, and as he sneaks onto the ship, and he starts to get this programming from somewhere else, right? Because this programming is the original memories popping up out of nowhere, because you're like, oh, like Vader's programming was so good that it like popped out, so he can't, C-3PO starts having like these visions of the past, of all the things that happened in Star Wars history that C-3PO has witnessed, everything, all the movies. And there becomes a moment where Luke is I would say Luke is like being he's like being attacked, right? And in that moment where he's being attacked by the Emperor, in the moment where Vader goes and he thinks, he's like, rather, now that he just learned that his children, which were the reason that he became Vader, is because he wanted to raise his children with Padme. Now that he realizes the little piece of Padme that's left, the Emperor is taking that from him. And so Vader basically does what he does. He turns on the Emperor and kills him. And when that happens, he oh man, it's been a long time, so I have it written down somewhere, but it's like basically Vader, kills the Emperor like he always does. And Luke is completely passed out at this point, because that is what happens with people who've been electrocuted. They pass out, so he's completely unconscious. And there's this moment where Vader is fighting the Emperor like Mace Windu did, but this time it's a full-on, it's like a mirror moment of the Emperor versus Mace Windu, like right when he was about to strike and the Anakin stopped him. But Vader redoes that. That's what it was, and he kills him, and then poof, throws him down the thing just to make it extra brutal. And that is what ends up scarring him to the point where he thinks he's dying. So you get to a moment where the ship starts blowing up, and my problem with the original was that everything was just so coincidental. You know, it's like, oh, they had 2 minutes to get off, and they just happened to get out right when it exploded. You know, I thought that was, it's too good to be true. So there's a moment where Anakin, I'm just gonna, Vader basically breaks out of, you know, the clutch of the Emperor. He falls and he's like dying and shit, and he's like passes. He probably would. He fucking like passes out basically at this point. Not passes out, but he's like, they're both like on the ground after their encounters, and they're like dying because of what fucking happened. And Luke literally hears like the alarms going off, like, oh, the ship's going down, because he wakes up to that, and then he takes Vader, takes him out, takes his helmet off and shit, and has that whole scene with him. And but the only thing I would change is then instead of him saying, you know, yeah, instead of him saying goodbye, he would be saying goodbye, but then Luke would pass out with him, and then who would be there to save the day? All of a sudden, fucking C-3PO appears and saves him and puts him in a ship, right? And the ship could be, the droids are doing this while they were fighting, so they were setting all this up. So in the movie, it's unrealistic. So they're like fucking like, they just so happened to find a ship that just so happened to have no one in it, and they just so happen to hack it right as they leave, right as it just so happened to explode. It's just too coincidental. And so the version I'm doing will be like, C-3PO was the person setting it all up. So he has the memories back. He knows that Anakin was Vader. He remembers everything. So on the ship, Vader is laying down like on this like bed kind of, that C-3PO is just pulling the Vader pieces off of him a little bit, but not entirely, and like pulling the mask off of him and stuff. And like Vader, now having basically being Anakin, looks back up at C-3PO and goes, oh, who would have thought you would end up, you know, basically like being my savior. And then there could be a moment where C-3PO shares like a moment where he talks about Anakin's mother, someone that was very close to Anakin's heart, you know, because he spent a lot of time with Shmi and Padme, so he could share a moment with Padme. He could tell him a moment about Padme. But the winning moment I have is the moment that the Death Star explodes, right? Everyone is like, thinks that they're dead. Luke comes down in the ship, right? And they think, oh my god, we haven't heard anything from fucking like Luke for a while. We don't even know what happened. And someone is holding someone like in their arms, right? Come down, and god, what was it? It's like in the movies, it's like he's carrying Vader. But yeah, that's what I wanted. In my version, I wanted to be where they think Luke is going to be the one coming out and carrying Vader, but Vader is the one carrying his unconscious son, who is unconscious because of the fucking electricity and shit. And he probably woke up for that little moment, then passed back out on him, remember? And he comes down, and it's a moment of awkwardness, as it would be, because Vader was the most evil person in the fucking universe. And so him being the person to save Luke would have been a fucking twist. That's the return of the Jedi. You know, that's a return of the Jedi if I've ever seen one. And then Luke, they literally try to kill him while Vader is like, you know, he doesn't have like, he has like half the costume on at this point. And Luke is literally, he wakes up at that moment and he tells them to stop because he found a way to save his father, just like he said he did. And it is the real redemption of Anakin Skywalker. Anakin kind of steps away and he's like, I can't be a Jedi again, but I certainly cannot go back to being a Sith. So I would end it off on Anakin reunites with the son at the very end, looking off at the distance, seeing all of the Jedis, all of the ones from before, look back, and them coming forward and being like, you have a long journey to redemption. And I would make Anakin Skywalker the Grey Jedi, because if anyone, it's him. Powerful with the light side and the dark side combined, making peace with the Force, which is the whole fucking point of Star Wars, is to bring the Force together, the light and the dark together, instead of a constant light-dark battle. And that is how I would end that fucking movie. So that's what I'm gonna do. At that point, I'm gonna have, that's what's gonna happen. And in that moment, after that, it'll be like, Anakin will be alive, and he'll basically try to use the Force to heal himself instead of using machines. Which is, I think, would be much better. Because when Rey comes around, when Rey comes around, it could be Rey meets Luke, right? Anyways, it's like Luke and Han come together, and then Luke is there when Kylo Ren takes Han Solo from them, you know? And when that happens, Luke is literally would be there to see that happen, and instead of Rey fighting that fight by herself, Luke could be the one fighting with her, and that could be the reason that she wins her first fight with Kylo Ren. Not because she's magically powerful, for no fucking reason. It's because literally Luke would be there helping her, and he's been in the same place that she has, where she's unexperienced, and, you know, fighting a powerful person or entity above your limit, and that is how I would change it. And then here's the thing. Just bear with me. So, the whole thing with, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna make it, and it's gonna be like a fan comic, and it'll have to do with, like, yeah, Anakin will be the one that they find on the lonely fucking island, hill, whatever, and at that point, Anakin will be old, and he will literally be one with the Force, and Luke will be the person that everybody knows is like the celebrity, you know, just like they wanted. Instead of him dying, you know, Anakin can live as a Grey Jedi. And in the very end, this is one thing I want to mention before I change this segment here, is that the reason I want this is because if that happens, and literally, in the very last movie, The Rise of Skywalker, literally could be about Anakin being the main character. Because at that point, it could be like The Last Jedi would be about, like Anakin being the Last Jedi. But he doesn't consider himself a Jedi at that point. And I would go even further to where, at the very, very end, The Rise of Skywalker, Anakin's the one to encounter the Emperor, which it shouldn't be the Emperor. it should be someone else, but it's kind of my way of fixing the movies, you know? So, if I could change that entire movie, I would, but I'm just going to change what did happen. And instead of Rey being there, Rey could have been the person to bring back the Force, you know what I mean? Instead of her just being a random main character that's never appeared ever in all the fucking history of the entire movies. And she just comes in and just becomes the hero and saves everyone. And, you know, instead of that happening, she's the one to relight the Force, you know? So she reawakens it, but she doesn't lead with it. Rey could be like Luke's apprentice, which was in the films. And then Leia, of course. Luke and Leia together, now reunited with their father. Anakin could be fighting the Emperor. And the Emperor versus all of the Jedis who've ever lived in their ghost form. And then, instead of the Emperor, I don't know, maybe I could do a little thing at the end where the Emperor is actually not the Emperor, and instead it's what's his name? Plagueis? Because that's what everybody wanted. So, other than that, I forget what color I did. Did we do yellow? Fuck it, we're doing yellow. Okay, so where should we end this? There's one more thing I want to say before I say my goodbyes. Where haven't we gone? We gone to Kashyyyk, went to there. We haven't gone to Tatooine. No, you know where you gotta go? God, what's that fucking planet where it's like, is this it? I don't know if this is it or not. Basically, part 10. So, all of that's like my fan stuff. All my fan-made stuff. So this thing I'm about to talk about is kind of like my own, like, if I didn't have the ability to do that and I was given like one wish and I could fix one thing. Sorry, I'm trying to find the right fucking planet. So I'm trying to find the planet that it was on. Though is the moment that I want changed. Sorry, give me a second. I'm trying to find out what this fucking planet's called. What planet is it called? What is that fucking place? Keef Burr. So it is this place. Okay, cool. Let's do it. You all know. You know that motherfucking moment. So, if, you know, it's like I told you, like, what would I do if I could change the entire fucking thing? That's what I would do. But, if that was never possible, the gods of universe shined upon me and said, you can only change one thing in Star Wars. It would be this. It would be the only problem I have with the very last film. I can excuse all other absences. Literally, I was ready. The moment that made me go, okay, fuck you, fuck these movies, is Han Solo appearing as a Force ghost. That's the moment that made me walk away. Because it's fucking bullshit. Han Solo, I don't care what you fucking say, Han Solo cannot ever be a fucking Force ghost. No matter how hard he wants to be, motherfucker can never be. So you know what I would do? man, which one would I have? I would literally, instead of having Han Solo, if I could change one thing, this is what I would change. Instead of having Han Solo there, in that moment, I would have Kylo Ren be met by Anakin, because that is the one thing I wanted to see, because they kept being like, oh, Kylo Ren is obsessed with Anakin, you know, he's obsessed with his grandfather, he's obsessed with what he did, but he really wasn't obsessed with him, because if you think about it, you know, he was obsessed with his, you know, the dark side of his grandfather, which, you know, what people really need, what characters like that really need, what they have, like, they're like obsessed with the characters' legacies, is that he needed Anakin to come before him and tell him, hey, I've been exactly where you've been, I have been exactly the place you've been, I know how it is. I know the temptation of the dark side's hard, but, you know, he should have been the one to tell him. And Anakin should have been the reason that Kylo Ren just went, you know what? And then changed his ways. It should have not been fucking Han Solo who... So, basically, my moment of realization is that because of how the fucking canon works, if you are powerful enough in the Force, you can literally go to the other side and become a part of the Force. You know, you can become a Force ghost. There's not something everyone could do. So if you don't have midichlorians in you, you can't fucking do that. So, no, Han Solo did not fucking appear before Kylo Ren. Basically, that movie was just like, oh, in the end, in his mother's last moments, she fucking creates an illusion, mind rapes him, and dies. So basically, two of the most legendary characters in Star Wars, Leia and Luke, kill themselves to prank this kid. So the whole series is about pranking Kylo Ren. You know, Luke pranks his fucking nephew into killing himself, you know, and then fucking Han Solo's like, hey, if you need help killing me, I will kill myself. God, they really did, didn't they? Every movie, they killed themselves. They literally took everything we love and they said, kill yourself. Because they said in that movie that when Han Solo is the one that pressed the button, he's like, I don't know what to do, I know what I have to do, but I don't have the strength to do it. Han Solo is the one that pressed that button and killed him. And because he was like, he loves his son so much that he was willing to literally kill himself to save. He was literally willing to kill himself to win over his fucking love. Clearly didn't fucking work because the fucker ended up dead, but you know. Well, at that point, they were loosely like basing it off the real shit because it wasn't even canon at that point. They just like started throwing random shit at you and go, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know, like, oh, what if Han Solo appears? Can Han Solo even be a Force ghost? No, but fuck it, let's just pretend like it can. And anyone who's saying that it is possible is a bullshitter, because it's not fucking possible. So I would have had Anakin come over and be like, you know, I have been literally in your shoes. I have walked the dark side just like you have, and it's not the way to go. You know, he could have talked him down into being like, I have literally done the exact same thing that you have, so I know exactly how it feels to, yeah, I know how it feels to have like the Force, how tempting it is on the other side. And so at that moment, that one little conversation, I would be fine with the rest of the film. I'm not even mad that Rey literally copied Iron Man from Endgame. I'm not mad at that, because that could have happened, you know? And that being the thing, I mean, really should not have had them kiss at the end. That was a big fucking mistake. Like, we did not know what we were doing at that point, basically, and it goes to show. It goes to show they did not realize. Nobody looked at any of the source material. They were just like, fuck you, these two are fucking. We don't care if they're related. We don't even know that they're related. Like, they don't even fucking know that. They just were like, oh, these two characters, like, this is the male lead and the female lead, and they're gonna kiss at the end, not knowing that they're fucking cousins. Gotta love fucking just writers that come in out of nowhere, don't you? Have no idea what they're doing. That'd be like if I just like the director of the fucking it'd be like fucking like Michael Bay coming in to do a Gilmore Girls reboot, and you know damn well that he's gonna fuck it up. But you're just like, hey, isn't fucking Michael Bay cool? Alright, can't you wait? Aren't you excited for all those like fucking Gilmore Girl action scenes? Like, nobody fucking gives a shit about that. You know, like it's like you gotta respect the lore. This is what it comes down to. Respecting the lore is the fucking rule. Can't respect the lore, then you really shouldn't be involved. And that's honestly what I think. Because people do this shit all the time. They fuck up entire franchises because they refuse to play along, you know. And people are like, hey, that's lame, it's stupid, I wouldn't do like that. Then don't be a part of it. Because these are special universes that have special meaning to other people, and if you don't want to take it fucking seriously, you know, like in a way where it's not so serious that it's fucking toxic, then don't be a part of it. No one's fucking asking, no one's begging, you know. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of that being a thing. People acting like these franchises are going to come to their every will. You know, it's like, even with, you know, just like what I was saying, literally with the only difference being that Anakin's the person instead of Han Solo, at the bare minimum, that's all I would fucking ask, that you just respect the lore, you know, because that doesn't make any fucking sense. Han Solo popping out of nowhere, that's not Han Solo. Han Solo's dead. So, when, what's his name? Harrison Ford literally comes in and says, I don't know what the fuck a Force Ghost is because no one's bothered to tell him, because his character has nothing to do with the fucking Force. And if he really did have the Force, like if you're literally bullshitting me right now and trying to gaslight me and telling me that, oh, he's always had the Force, what are you talking about? I'm gonna call you bullshitter. Because he's had the Force this entire time, and he's done nothing with it. He is a piece of shit. And if you think about it, it's like Leia, they have fucked Leia's entire existence into being like, Leia used to be this character. She was like a strong character, you know, in moments where other characters are emotional. She wasn't. And that was very powerful back in the day. Now it's like, oh, now it has nothing to do with it. Now it's like, it gets to a point where they like fucked it up bad, you know, because they literally oh. Okay. So they get to a point where yeah, so like they made a point to show you, oh, what's her name? Leia, when she's young, she goes on this entire adventure with Obi-Wan. Gets to know him as a little kid. So you're like, oh, that's how she knows Obi-Wan when she's young. And then And then later, when she asks for his help, he appears, and then Vader literally kills him. She goes, "Come on, hurry up!" And why are you lollygagging? And it's like, it's like she doesn't care that he's like fucking dying. You know, she shows like no emotion. So in that way, they kind of fucked her character up into being like, she's like extremely heartless, and led Obi-Wan there so he could die, and then end the entire series with, it's like, oh yeah, she was a shitty mother, so what's the last thing that she does to redeem herself? She gaslights her son into thinking he's talking to his father. Talk about a shitty person, you know, it's like, that was her whole life. They fucked her up. You know, her character, I didn't even, they get to a point where it's like the lady was more respectable. The lady who played her was more respectable than the fucking actual character. It's really sad because that could have been the character, you know, her character could have been something. Her character could have been something really cool. And that's what they chose to do. And they'd be like, oh, she has the Force the whole time, and she literally did nothing with it. And she was trained in it. She knew how to use the Force. She did less than nothing with it. Literally. She created illusions just like Luke, and then fucking died just like he did. So, that's how it is. Han Solo just kills himself. They all kill themselves. It's Kill Yourself, the sequel. Because the whole thing's just them fucking killing themselves. It's fucking ridiculous. I gotta say, I also wanted to mention too, I forgot, the Mandalorian show. Hold on, let me fix this real quick. God. I literally don't know how to spell fucking excess. Excessive. Excessive. You know what? We're going simple. So yeah, it's just my extra fucking shit. Because I'm just like kind of randomly saying shit now. It's like you know, the whole sequel, all the sequels are just about them killing themselves. You know, Han Solo pops out, goes to help Rey, finds his son, turns on the lightsaber, kills himself. Luke comes in, gets kind of like, he's like torn up by his grief of what happened with Han Solo, and is so fucking destroyed by it that he literally can't even move on, and then kills himself. Pranks his nephew to kill himself. Into him, you know, he pranks his nephew and then he kills himself, is what I'm saying. And then the last movie being like, oh, the mother who's she's so filled with grief over her son who's too emo to exist normally. She fucking kills herself, creates an illusion, gaslights her son into thinking his father's alive, and then she kills herself. You know, it's like, that's the whole fucking series. It's ridiculous. And I wanted to mention, yeah, Mandalorian. The whole thing with Moff Gideon, oh man, great. I would rather have Moff Gideon be an entire fucking villain rather than for a movie, rather than it being another fucking emperor, because seeing his adventure, you know, how he goes to being like the wielder of the Darksaber to not, to being kind of like this Mandalorian kind of rival, is just so awesome. And but I feel like I know, but I feel like something happened here. Why? Okay, so I feel like sorry, I'm just trying to figure this shit out. Breaker blaster? I don't... Okay. Don't know why I couldn't use the force, but whatever. Yeah. Mandalorian has been a really awesome show so far. Like, one of the best. Top tier. But I just gotta say, I know it's like Grogu, I know he's a popular character, and they really have a thing for wanting to sell t-shirts and shit. Oh man. They're really running it into the ground. They are trying to get anything they can. So the first couple seasons was really fun. Seeing Mandalorian deal with Grogu and having like a child, you know. Literally, at what point are we gonna fucking stop? Because season 2 ends of Mandalorian, and it's literally like Luke literally comes and saves Grogu, takes him somewhere else, goes, hey, I'm gonna teach you the ways of the Force, right? So he takes him to a place where he starts to create the thing that Kylo Ren eventually destroys. And literally, God, I hate fucking doing this. This thing's so complicated. I swear to God. I'll just unlock one just for fun. Do I have Qui-Gon? Okay, yeah. We're gonna do Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon's much cooler than Rey. I swear to God, fucking stop doing that. There's this fucking glitch where every time I try to choose a character, it literally will be like, fuck you. So obnoxious. God, what the fuck was I even talking about? Mandalorian, Grogu, yeah, so the whole thing with Grogu was that, yeah, he was a cool character, but like Luke comes and saves him, is like, hey, I'm gonna teach you the ways of the Force, but you have to let go of your feelings for a Mandalorian. And he goes, nah, I'm gonna leave. And all of that I just said to you, that was in a different show. So at some point you're watching it and you're like, you're watching it and you're like if you don't know the other shows exist, you're watching it. Season 2 ends with Luke saving Grogu, and then season 3 opens with him being there and helping him. You know, like Mandalorian is back with fucking Grogu. God fucking damn it. Anxious. We're doing the Emperor. Emperor is all fucking control. Yeah, so it doesn't flow very good at all. Fuck, I wasn't even paying attention. Up, left, down. Up, left. Up, left, down, left. Okay, whatever. Get yourself. Noxious. Yeah, so Grogu, the whole thing being like, it doesn't flow very well at all. And I think it fucks some shit up. Like, we're getting to a point where it's like, you know, I know he's like trying to raise him like a son, but we get to a moment where Mandalorian has stopped becoming Mandalorian. You know, it's like, yeah, he comes and redeems himself, which is really cool. There's a lot of really cool scenes where he's like, he redeems himself for taking off the mask, but he stops becoming badass and starts losing Season 3 happens, and he starts constantly fucking up. Like, he can't even focus, you know. And, I don't know, maybe they're gonna go somewhere with the movie, but, because I heard they're gonna make a movie about it. But I don't know. I've just stopped having faith in people's abilities anymore, because people they can't do it. It's like they literally lack the ability to write their own shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But, anyways. Yeah. What else did I talk about? Mandalorian. One annoying thing is there's like some inconsistencies that really drive me nuts. Like, how come the Qui-Gon, you know? Qui-Gon is the person who ultimately kills all the Jedis. Because he literally convinces them, hey, this kid's the chosen one. And then he later kills them all. So, thanks a lot, Qui-Gon. Just saying. What else can I bitch about? Fucking, Obi-Wan is getting his own movie. Like, there's a guy who worked on Obi-Wan, and he's gonna turn it into a movie. He worked on the show, and he's gonna turn the show into a movie, so that's really cool. I hope it's better than the show. Which, if the entire show was that one moment with him and Vader, would have been perfect. I can't even, like, that moment was such a perfect scene. That is the moment I wanted to see with the original fight, you know. That was the moment where they see each other again, and Obi-Wan sees the kid that he raised turn into this monster, and he, like, you know, he feels like it's all his fault because he basically raised him. But it's like, you know, that scene was very emotional for me. It was a really great scene. But you know, go back to Coruscant. Actually, where were we? Yeah, and I always wonder, like, why, like, Yoda doesn't sense the, you know, he's supposed to be, like, one of the most powerful ones, and he can't sense dark forces. Like, they're the ones where they mention, they're like, oh, there's dark forces at work. But until they all actually die, they're kind of like chill about it. They're like, oh, there's all this war going on, but, you know, there's all this weird shit going on. Where did these clones come from? I don't know. Let's just keep them, I guess. Not question it. And then, you know, they don't, like, kind of think, hey, maybe it's Palpatine, because he's always trying to get his fucking shit into our business. You know, a little bastard that he is, but they don't fucking realize it, you know, which maybe it's like, oh, that's the part of, it's the part of him that they fucking hide. Can't do bite, no. Edge and claws resistance. Okay. Nope. Bespin. So, what else we got? Yeah, so, you know, that's basically what I got. And, hold on. Bullshit. So, yeah, that's what I got to say. It's just really fucking, yeah, so this is my 99th fucking episode. Retard Rants. I will say that the movie I'm gonna make. Oh, I guess I haven't told you that. So, oh yeah, so this is just between us. Nobody heard anything, so it's just between us. So this is my 99th episode of Retard Rants, and you may have noticed I have made a lot of fucking retard rants. I mean, 99's a lot of them. So, I obviously am at 100 now, and I was planning on making, it's just between you and me, so you don't let anybody know about this. But I was I'm gonna make another movie, another retard rant movie, just like my first one. Just clusterfuck. Yeah, let's go clusterfuck. And so I'm gonna make a sequel to it, and it's gonna be Retard Rants movie, the sequel, The Flustered Cuck, and it'll be the 100th episode. So this is what I wanted to say about that. Yeah. It's probably gonna take a while for me to do that one, actually, to be honest. To be extremely honest, because I am not able to. I am currently so fucking deep in work and stuff. I don't have any free time. My day usually consists of me waking up and taking people everywhere. I take my family, my friends. I take everybody everywhere. I pick them up from work or pick them up from school. It's like I'm DoorDashing, but now it's people. I don't get paid for it. And the job I work, I've been working at the security job for about, for a couple fucking, is it Leia? I've been working at the security job now for almost a year now. It's crazy to say that, but yeah, at this point, in the summer, it will have been a full year that I've been working here at the security job that I have. And so I don't get a lot of time to myself. This little moment, like right now, it's 5 in the morning. I started at 2 in the morning. Or I started like preparing for this. Oh man, I prepared for this episode like fucking months ago. I wasn't able to make it until now because I work 12 hours, I'll work 2 days, I'll be off 2 days, I'll work 3 days, I'll be off 2 days, and weeks, months, they just fucking fly by. They fly by without a whim or a fucking worry, without a realization. Like literally today, I took everybody to all their places they need to go, and when I came home, it like, God, I picked a sibling of mine up, and I came home, and I fell asleep. I set an alarm, and I still fell asleep. Came home after being late to pick them up, because I was so fucking tired that I went back to sleep and slept the whole day. Woke up at nighttime. So, you know. So, you know, I didn't have much time to make stuff, but, you know. Oh, fuck, sorry, hold on, I gotta sneeze. God. Yeah, so this is just a secret between us. But I won't be able to make it for probably a while, at least until things change and I get more time. But right now, my life is so fucking busy that I can't even get a fucking. At this moment, it's insane that I've gotten this much time to myself, and it's only been like 2-3 hours. So after this, I'm gonna go right back to sleep. Yeah, I'm gonna wake up and do it all over again. And who knows when the next time my next retard rant will be, but I just want to let everybody know. It's, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it's just been going on for a really long time. Not that I would ever end retard rants, it's just I don't know what I'm gonna do after I make the 100th, because I'm gonna make the sequel, Retard Rants the movie, the sequel, The Flustered Cuck, episode 100, and then I have no idea what I'm gonna do after that. That might just be the nail in the coffin. Jesus. So, you know, as far as we know, it ends right where we started. This is Mr. Bones and Sith Trooper. We're out. Till next time, retards. It's been fun ranting with all of you. Till next time. Remember, stay retarded.